Hey guys, so we are here in southern Alberta in Writing on Stone National Park. To start off our Badlands journey, we wanted to start this section here in one of the most beautiful geographical locations of sandstone hoodoos, coulees, and it's a very sacred place and it's said to have very powerful spiritual beings. And I thought not a better way for us to start off this journey in such a spectacular place like Writing on Stone National Park. So hope you guys enjoy. So we are just starting the Hoodoo Trail, which is a 5-kilometer stretch out and back through this beautiful landscape. The hoodoos were carved over hundreds of years through freezing, melting, wind erosion.
So it's manually done too.
And it's just spectacular. Yeah, there's some manual things carved, some stairs you can see. It's pretty amazing. Right away you start to get a great view of the Milk River. We actually came here in winter when that was frozen over. The hoodoos have these famous hat-like tops, and that actually protects the underside and preserves it for longer. That's from all the erosion, just kind of how it shapes. Really cool. You get some man-made stairs carved in along this trail. Just spectacular here across the Milk River. You got all the hoodoos over there and just littered with hoodoos on this side. And this was home and is home to the Blackfoot Nation. For hundreds of years, bison used to roam these lands, and it's just a real privilege to get to hike through a place like this. One thing I wanted to mention, rattlesnakes and bull snakes patrol these areas. Just be cautious in the warmer months, more so for the rattlesnakes. But just one thing to keep in mind when you're stepping over objects, you want to step onto the object, then look over to see if there's a snake on the other side. For example, if you're stepping over a log, you step onto the object and then you look down before putting your foot over in a blind spot where there could be a snake. So just something to keep in mind because we are in rattlesnake territory. Get a break from the sun for a brief moment. So you're at your first section where you get to see some petroglyphs, what looks like some ancient beings on the left and on the right there. With some of these petroglyphs, you can actually find the backstory to them, and a lot of them were carved from the Blackfoot Nation, but as well there's some carvings that are said to be from more ancient civilization, which kind of leaves a bit of mystery to it, which is kind of cool. You can even get a little bit of trail running on some sections here. And again, you get some amazing openings to the Milk River stretch. You can actually canoe, I think it's about 107 kilometers, this whole stretch of river. That would be an adventure in the future that I would love to do. We are just making our way to the battle scene, which is one of the most famous petroglyphs in this trail, done by the Blackfoot people. So we are just at the battle scene. I'll give you a view of what the petroglyphs look like, because on the wall they've faded over time and actually got a barrier because there's been vandalism over the years, but it's maybe hard to see with the camera, but there's a whole battle scene on this wall. You can get a better view of what occurred, the guns and the shooting, each side shooting. One thing I wanted to add in is that you don't want to come through these trails after nightfall, and reason being, they're actually forbidden. And there's been stories that people way back when that came through these specific trails after nightfall would either get cursed or not make it out alive. When we were here back in April, we actually got a bit of a tour and a bit of a more detailed story, which I kind of don't remember the exact details, but coming here after sunset is something I'm not going to risk. I feel there's something to those stories about these being forbidden that have some truth to them. As well, this provincial park is actually featured on the show Ancient Aliens, which is pretty cool if you've seen that show. Basically, there is a Badlands Guardian, which could tie into the thing I was just mentioning about a guardian protecting these lands. Kind of a bit of mystery, but there's basically an ancient being that the Blackfoot people worshipped that was apparently from the stars. So kind of gives you a bit of mystery and adds a bit of fun to it anyway. I'm definitely pretty open as a person to these things, and I think there's so much mystery in this world that we really don't know. So I'm pretty open-minded. There she is, just in the water. And it would be a crime if we didn't hop in the Milk River. Amazing. Taking us for a swim. So we're just continuing on the trail through the hoodoos up to where we are getting picked up to take a tour through some of the more closed off areas that are more private to see some petroglyphs. And I had the pleasure of going on a tour before down to this location, so really look forward to going back down to do it again. So we're just about to take our tour, and depending on the situation, I might get some footage, depending on what the guide thinks, or situation will dictate. But I will get back to you guys shortly. Stay tuned. So we just finished our tour, and out of respect, I didn't do any filming, but we learned a lot, and the tour guide shared a lot of knowledge, and he said he passed it down for us to keep. It's kind of like a gift, and I highly recommend you do the tour. I kind of like that it has some sacred elements to it, but just amazing. We're actually just finding our way back through the trails. There's a few different options you have getting back down through these hoodoos, but just amazing. It's finally cooling down, and we learned a lot about the gods the Blackfoot people worship. We learned about the tricksters and some cool spiritual beings, a lot of spiritual elements to what they believe in. Nothing less than spectacular. Highly recommend it. The sun will be setting soon.